At a family cookout, she laughed loudly enough for all to hear. "If we ever tie the knot, he'll be lucky if I stay faithful." I didn't respond. But later that night, when my uncle pulled me aside, his words reshaped everything. My family has a tradition. Every year, on the last weekend of summer, we host a massive cookout at my uncle's place. It's an all-day event, 3 generations strong, filled with food and joyful chaos. It's about heritage, about bonds, the last place you'd expect your world to collapse. But that's exactly what happened on Saturday. I'm Ben, a project manager for a major construction firm. I build big things, towers, clinics, college campuses. My job is to take 1,000 scattered pieces and forge them into one solid working structure. I tame chaos. I thought my relationship with my girlfriend, Emily, was my steadiest creation. We'd been together 2 years, living in my house for the last one. We were a team with a shared vision, marriage, kids, the full plan. It was a framework I believed in. Emily is stunning, witty, and the spark of any gathering. Her untamed spirit thrilled me, balancing my methodical nature, or so I thought. My family loved her. They adored her vibrancy, her tales. She blended in perfectly. Saturday was a flawless, late summer day. The cookout was alive, cousins tossing a frisbee, kids darting through sprinklers, adults on the patio chuckling over drinks. I was at the grill, turning steaks, feeling utterly at peace. Emily was captivating my cousins and aunt, chatting about a recent high-profile wedding. The talk shifted to our future. I overheard from the grill, only half tuned in. Then my cousin asked, "So, when are you two making it official?" That's when Emily dropped the bomb. She let out a loud, dramatic laugh that turned heads. "Oh, who knows," she said, her voice carrying across the patio. "If we ever get married, he'll be lucky if I don't stray." The laughter on the patio died. Conversations halted. In the sudden quiet, all I heard was the hiss of the steaks and the distant squeals of kids. I didn't turn around. I stood there, tongs in hand, staring at the grill marks on the meat. She tried to brush it off as a jest. "I'm joking," she said, laughing again, but it sounded hollow, forced. "Mostly." A few people let out weak, uneasy chuckles. Talk resumed, stilted and strained, but the day's warmth was gone, a shadow cast over it. I stayed silent. I didn't look at her or speak. I kept grilling, my movements calm and deliberate. Inside, a tempest churned. It wasn't just the disrespect, it was the public spectacle. She hadn't just insulted me. She'd broadcast to my whole family that our relationship was a punchline, my commitment something she saw as disposable. I served the food, sat with my family, talked, laughed, and acted as if the woman I loved hadn't just blown up the foundation of our life. Emily kept glancing at me, trying to read my reaction. I gave her nothing, a stone wall. Later that night, as the party wound down and guests began to leave, my Uncle Jim pulled me aside. Jim, my dad's older brother, is a retired firefighter, a man who's seen humanity's highs and lows. He speaks sparingly, but his words carry weight. He led me to the yard's edge, away from the string lights and lingering guests. He looked me in the eye, his expression grave. "I heard what she said," he said, his voice low and steady. I nodded. "You're a good man, Ben," he went on. "You're steady. You build things to endure. That woman, she's not cut from the same cloth. She's all show, no substance." He paused, glancing back at the party where Emily was now chatting with my aunt, as if nothing had happened. "You're angry," he said, not asking. He was right. I was. "You want to go home, confront her, yell, maybe even end it tonight." He nailed it. That's exactly what I wanted. "Don't," he said firmly. "That's what she expects. The game she wants to play. A big, messy fight where she can cry, apologize, call it a dumb joke, and you'll forgive her because you love her. Then she'll know she can disrespect you with just a bit of drama as the cost." He put a hand on my shoulder. "A woman who jokes about cheating isn't joking. She's floating a test balloon, probing your limits, showing you who she is. The worst mistake you can make is not believing her. So what do I do? I asked. His advice was simple but transformative. Do nothing. Go home, act like it's fine. Let her think she got away with it. Let her relax. While she's relaxed, you get sharp. Find out if that test balloon is a one-off or if there's a whole armada you don't know about. Don't get emotional. Get answers. People like her don't fear anger. They fear being exposed. Want to end it? Fine. But do it on your terms. Make sure when you walk away, she knows exactly what she lost and why. I looked at my uncle and understood. He wasn't telling me to be weak. He was telling me to be tactical. He gave me a new blueprint. The old one, marriage, kids, was gone. The new one was for a demolition, quiet, precise, and total. I returned to the party, smiled at Emily, and began planning. Update 1. It's been a week since the cookout. A week of playing the forgiving boyfriend. A week of silent, calculated investigation. My Uncle Jim's advice has been my compass. Don't get emotional. Get answers. On the drive home from the cookout, Emily finally addressed it. Are you upset with me? She asked, voice soft and cautious. I glanced at her. About what? That joke I made. It was dumb. I was just trying to be funny. My humor's a bit edgy sometimes. I shrugged. It's fine. I get it. Relief flooded her face. She thought she was in the clear, that my silence at the party was just me sulking. She had no idea I was rewriting the entire project. For days, she was the ideal girlfriend, warm, attentive, no more jokes. She thought she'd tested a boundary, and I'd accepted it. She was at ease. While she was at ease, I was working. My first step was to gauge the problem's scale. Was her comment a one-time misstep or a sign of something deeper? I started with her phone. We had an open device policy, shared passcodes, a cornerstone of trust she, it turned out, didn't deserve. When she was asleep, I checked it, not hunting for a smoking gun, but for patterns. No blatant texts from other men. She was too clever for that. But I found something more revealing: selective deletions. Her chats with certain guy friends were oddly sparse, with missing days and gaps. Her call logs showed calls to those numbers, but the texts were erased. Innocent people don't meticulously scrub their conversations. The real find was a group chat with her 3 closest friends, dubbed the Exit Crew. I scrolled back months. It was a running log of their lives, relationships, and future plans, a treasure trove. They talked about me often, calling me the foreman or Mr. Reliable. They mocked my dull life, my predictable routine. Emily's posts were the most damning. She vented about feeling caged, craving more thrill. Then, I found a chat from the day before the cookout. A friend asked if she was ready to settle down with me. Emily's reply: God, no. But the deal's too sweet to walk away from now. He's a perfect safety net while I sort out what I really want. And what I want isn't a guy obsessed with fixing the garage door on weekends. Another friend replied, Be careful. He's not stupid. What if he catches on? Emily's response chilled me. He won't. He trusts me completely. I could probably cheat, and as long as I smiled and said I loved him, he'd buy it. He's just lucky I haven't bothered yet. There it was. The joke from the cookout wasn't a joke. It was her truth, slightly reworded, a test, as Jim said, to see how much I'd tolerate. I screenshotted the entire thread and saved it to a secure cloud folder. That was my evidence. Now I needed an exposure plan. The chance came 2 days later. Emily came home buzzing. Her best friend, the one who'd questioned her commitment, was engaged. Her fiancé proposed during a Rome getaway. They were throwing a lavish engagement party in 3 weeks at a downtown venue. It's going to be incredible, Emily said, eyes gleaming. Everyone will be there. We need to get you a new suit. A party. A grand, flashy affair packed with her friends and the crowd she wanted to dazzle. The perfect stage. I spent the next week preparing, playing the doting boyfriend. I helped her choose a dress, booked a suit fitting, listened to her ramble about the engagement, Rome, the ring's carat size. Meanwhile, I was making my own arrangements. I contacted the event coordinator, someone my firm had worked with on corporate projects. I pitched a special tribute for the engaged couple, a slideshow of their photos to play on the venue's screens. She loved the idea and gave me the video file specs. I spent hours crafting the video. It started innocently, photos of the couple, with friends, including Emily, even a few of us looking like the perfect pair. But the last 30 seconds were different. The screenshots from her group chat, set to scroll slowly across the screen, her words in bold, undeniable text, paired with a gentle, romantic violin track. He's a perfect safety net while I sort out what I really want. He trusts me completely. He's just lucky I haven't bothered to cheat yet. The video was done. The stage was set. Emily thought this party was about her friend. She didn't know it was her final act. Update 2. The night of the engagement party felt like the hush before a storm. I wasn't anxious. I was locked in. I had a mission, a structure to dismantle, and the tools to do it. We arrived at the venue's ballroom, a swirl of designer gowns, sharp suits, and the murmur of self-important chatter. Emily was in her zone, flitting between groups, laughing, air-kissing, towing me along like a polished prop. I smiled, nodded, played my role. I found the coordinator and handed her the thumb drive with the video. "It's ready," I said. "Play it right after the bride's father's toast." She gave me a nod and slipped into the tech booth. An hour in, the toasts began. The bride's father gave an emotional speech. The groom's best man shared some light-hearted stories. The groom gave a moving ode to his fiancée, Emily's best friend. As he finished, the lights dimmed. The coordinator's voice came over the speakers. And now, a special tribute from a close friend, a look back at cherished moments. The violin music began. The slideshow started. I stood beside Emily near the back of the room. She squeezed my arm, smiling genuinely. "This is so thoughtful," she whispered. The first few minutes were flawless. Photos of the couple flashed on the 3 large screens, guests smiling, some wiping tears. Then the music swelled, and the final 30 seconds hit. The first screenshot appeared. Emily's words. "He's a perfect safety net while I sort out what I really want." Her grip on my arm stiffened. Her smile froze. "What is this?" she hissed, voice barely audible. The next screenshot. "He trusts me completely." A murmur rippled through the crowd as people read the text, heads turning from the screens to Emily, faces shifting from joy to stunned confusion. Then, the final screenshot, from the cookout, filled the screens. "He's just lucky I haven't bothered to cheat yet." The room went silent, save for the mournful violin, now sounding like a requiem. The video ended. The screens went dark. The lights returned. Every eye in the bright, quiet ballroom was on Emily. Her face was a mask of raw, horrified disbelief. Her friends, the exit crew, stared at her, pale with shock and dawning fear. They were exposed, too. I leaned in, my voice a quiet whisper only she could hear. "The joke's not funny anymore, is it?" I didn't wait for a reply. I stepped back, turned, and walked out of the ballroom, my pace steady, not looking back. I left the chaos behind. As the door swung shut, I heard the first sounds of the fallout. A woman sobbing, a man's raised voice. The storm had broken. My Uncle Jim was waiting in the hotel lobby. I'd called him earlier to tell him my plan. He'd nodded and said, "I'll be there." He stood as I approached, a small, proud smile on his face. He didn't ask how it went. "Let's grab a drink," he said. "You look like a man who just walked out of a cage." He was right. I was free. Final update. 6 months have passed since the engagement party. The demolition is done, and I've spent the time clearing the rubble and laying a new foundation. This final chapter isn't about drama or vengeance. It's about consequences and the quiet satisfaction of moving forward. The party ended in turmoil. Emily had a full breakdown. Her friends, the exit crew, were caught in the crossfire. The bride-to-be, her supposed best friend, was livid that her perfect night was ruined. Their friendship is over, I hear. Emily's social circle collapsed. The story spread like wildfire through her crowd. The evidence was ironclad. She wasn't the victim. She was the engineer of her own disgrace. Her friends, the ones she'd worked so hard to impress, saw her true colors, a manipulator who treated relationships as temporary conveniences. They cut her off. She tried to fight back, claiming I was unhinged, that I'd faked the screenshots, that I was a controlling freak. It didn't stick. My reputation was rock solid, and her own words, displayed for all to see, were too damning. She lost her job. The groom from the party, her friend's fiancé, was a senior executive at the PR firm where she worked. He didn't fire her outright. He didn't need to. The workplace turned so hostile, with whispers and cold stares, that she had to quit. She had to move out of my house naturally. I'd already packed her belongings, leaving them in the garage. She sent her dad to pick them up. I wasn't there. Her father, a man I'd always admired, couldn't meet my eyes when I saw him briefly weeks later. The shame was too heavy. She's now in a tiny apartment across town, working a low-level job, trying to rebuild. She has no friends, no partner, and a reputation that'll haunt her for years. 2 months ago, I got a long, rambling email from her, a mix of apologies, accusations, and self-pity. She called the cookout comment the worst mistake of her life, claiming she didn't mean it, that she was just trying to sound edgy and aloof. She blamed my Uncle Jim, calling him a harsh old man for his advice. That line showed she still didn't get it, still pointing fingers at everyone but herself. I deleted the email without responding. My life is calm, steady, good. I've been spending time with my family, the people who form my true foundation. Jim and I go hiking every other weekend. We don't talk about what happened. We don't need to. He just slaps my shoulder and says, "You did right, kid." The revenge wasn't the slideshow or the public exposure. It was believing her. She showed me who she was with that cookout joke. My uncle's advice wasn't about vengeance. It was about self-worth. He told me to take her at her word, and I did. I acted on it. She thought she was playing a game, keeping my stability while holding her options open. She didn't realize that for me, commitment isn't a game. It's a structure, a vow. When you prove your vows are worthless, I don't get mad. I dismantle the building and start fresh on solid ground. The new foundation I'm building is stronger than ever.